I've been a fan of crazy all my life. I like stories that are absolutely insane. But in this video, this story takes a very wild turn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about comic books. And this is my coverage of Firepower. We continue exactly where we left off, with the master instilling the fear of God in his assassins. He beat the brakes out of all of them. They couldn't even move. The ensuing commotion was so loud it drew attention. And sadly, it drew the wrong attention. Ma was the one to notice, and he pulled up and asked his master, "Master, what's wrong?" And his master said, "I apologize, for I knew someone was going to come, and I'm sorry that someone was you." Turning back, he threw daggers at his student. Daggers. Thankfully, Ma was fast enough to react swiftly, not only dodging the attack, but he was able to grab one of the daggers and send it flying back, asking his master, "What are you doing?" But his master simply flicked it away. He had already closed the distance, launching an attack on Ma's face. Whack. But he wasn't done. He grabbed the whole of Ma's shirt and tossed him into a wall, cracking the wall behind him. He was going for the kill. Student or not, you chose a side, and now you will die by my hand. He was choking Ma, removing the air from his body. He was seconds away from losing his life, but thankfully he was quick to react with the rock to his master's face. But that didn't even slow him down. He came with the onslaught of punches. He was walking Ma down, saying, "Don't worry, your burial will be fantastic." But Ma, being a G himself, returned the attack with the mallet of one of his assassins he left laying around, knocking his master back. Ma used the opportunity to escape, for this was once his home, but now he has been cast out by someone he looked up to, someone who still wanted him dead, commanding his assassins to pursue. But he beat them way too much, they couldn't even walk. Disappointing. But he wasn't the only one that was going to have a bad day, because Owen, his day was about to get crazy. It started off with him letting his boss know he was going away, telling his boss everything. His boss was sad at first, but then he changed his mind because his employee is a superhero. So he told Owen to do what he needs to do, and when he gets back, he still has a job. So Owen left, but he didn't know he was being followed. Someone was watching him from the shadows, and she had a mission. Back with the family though, the kids were going through it, so they decided to distract themselves, which made the master to no end. Usually it was hard to get children to focus, but with the use of technology, they had no problem focusing. Their mother though, she wanted to know about her husband. What was he like when he was younger? And the master, well, he revealed he was a perfect student. He was everything he wanted the perfect boy to be. But when he lost the love of his life, there was a darkness that grew inside him. He looked at her and said, "I failed your husband, but I will never fail him again. No one will hurt you as long as I am here." And at that exact same second, Owen got back home. He wanted to know what they were talking about, but they just played it off like, nah, nothing. Later that day, though, they had to leave because they were going to the Scorched Earth base, saying goodbye to his parents while his wife said goodbye to her partner. Even if he was an undercover ninja, he still watched her back. And he said, of course, anytime. And they took flight. Owen was uncomfortable. He wanted to know about this base. He wanted to know if his family was safe. But his master simply asked him, "Do you trust me?" And Owen didn't know how to answer. So he decided to give him the benefit of the doubt and went to the bathroom. Unbeknownst to him, this was where everything went absolutely crazy, because as soon as he stepped out, he was attacked with a sword. How the hell did you get a sword on a goddamn plane? They were about to do battle in the middle of a plane as the plane was in the air. His children noticed and they wanted to help, but he screamed, "Stay back," because this was different. He already took her out before, but this time she was different. She was fighting different. She was stronger. And that is when he heard it, like 1,000 voices speaking at once, saying, "You are not allowed to live with your ability. The firepower must go extinct for my people to reign supreme." Owen knew he had to make a choice. He had to protect his family. So he did what he thought was right. He opened the door, allowing both of them fall out of the plane. They fell, but they didn't stop fighting. She wanted him dead, and she was going to have it. But Owen had the upper hand because he had the firepower, blasting Shorty with the column of flame. But she just shook it off. She was here on a mission. Even without the blade, she was lethal. They exchanged blows, and Owen decided to finish the fight, unleashing a flurry of fireballs directly at her, but she simply just transformed into 100 snakes. Owen saw this and laughed, screaming, "Snakes cannot fly." But he must have forgotten he cannot fly. He was falling faster and faster every second, deciding to use his flames to cushion his fall. But that was no good. He could only shoot fireballs. So he tried and tried and kept trying, but it didn't work. He was gaining speed. Was this how it was meant to end? His family, his friends, everyone waiting for him. Well, he was going to die like a pizza, splattered all over the ground. He thought about his people, thought about the people that love him, and decided to put everything he had on one final blast. And thankfully, it worked. A large pillar of flames helped him slow down, but he was going way too fast. His descent was slowed down, yes, but he still fell hard enough to get knocked out as soon as he landed. But when he awoken, he was on a beach, on a pretty comfortable bed, with the buff man standing in front of him. He was so confused, so discombobulated, but the man simply said, "At the Temple of the Fire Fist, you trained with a girl. I am told you guys became close. She was my daughter. But right now, Owen didn't care. Where is my family?" But the man simply said, "Be calm, Owen. They are safe. You are safe. Welcome to the island of the scorched earth." Owen was on edge because he was trained his whole life to hate these people, and all of a sudden now they're the good guys. He was trying to trust it, but everything fell away when he saw his kids and his wife. But his wife was not smiling, so he told his kid to give him a moment. As soon as they were alone, she went crazy. "How dare you open an airplane door? We could have died." He apologized because obviously he wasn't thinking. But now they were here, they were safe. But before they could even make up, he was cold and given a uniform. And then the alarms went off. Someone was invading. An army of ninjas ready for combat passed him swiftly, and he went himself, about to defend his family with his life, only to meet Ma on the beach, apparently looking for a new army to join. Owen saw him and welcomed his friend, and we see from the shadows that buff man was watching. He was talking to someone, explaining that why don't you go greet them? They were your friends. But the someone in the shadows simply replied, "Not yet. A lot is at stake, and I am afraid my presence will complicate things." This is when we see who was talking from the shadows. It was Ling, and she was alive. She had freaked her death. Why?